Hello football fans and welcome back to Footy Today, your go-to channel for all the latest football news and trending stories. 3 big news stories to cover in this video. They include Arsenal going back to West Ham for another one of their star players, Steven Gerrard being booed by his own supporters, and Julen Lopetegui under intense pressure after a string of extremely poor performances. Before we dive into today's news stories, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so you never miss an update from us. Also, drop a comment below and let us know your thoughts on today's stories. We love hearing from you guys and your opinions help shape future videos. Okay, let's dive in. According to major media news outlets, Arsenal are preparing to make a £90 million bid for West Ham standout talent Mohammed Kudus. As Al-Ettifaq ramps up interest in Leandro Trossard, Arsenal may be planning a reshuffle to bolster their attacking options. Mohammed Kudus has been a revelation since joining West Ham from Ajax for £40 million last season. The 24-year-old Ghanaian has quickly established himself with impressive performances, tallying 16 goals and 7 assists in 55 appearances. However, recent events have added complexity to his season. During West Ham's recent match with Tottenham, Kudus was sent off following a confrontation with players including Richarlison and Mickey van der Ven. The Football Association has since charged him with violent conduct, potentially extending his 3-match ban. The situation has intensified interest around Kudus as Arsenal closely monitors both his form and his temperament. Meanwhile, Arsenal winger Leandro Trossard is attracting interest from Saudi Pro League side Al-Ettifaq, who reportedly see the Belgium as a prime candidate for a £40 million transfer. Since joining from Brighton in January 2023, Trossard has delivered 20 goals in 80 appearances. However, with just 18 months remaining on his contract, Arsenal might consider cashing in on the winger, opening the door for a new attacking talent. For Arsenal, Kudus represents a significant investment in both talent and future potential. His pace, versatility and offensive drive would bring new dimensions to Mikel Arteta's setup. As the club explores their options, the £90 million price tag indicates they are serious about making a strong push for the top spot this season. It's important to note, however, that Arsenal is not the only club eyeing Kudus. Both Liverpool and Manchester City are rumoured to have an interest, meaning Arsenal could face tough competition. It's worth noting that West Ham are currently in no position to sell, so doing a deal could be difficult. Arsenal has shown a willingness to invest heavily, evidenced in the recent acquisitions of Declan Rice and Kai Havertz. Another major move for Kudus would continue that trend, boosting Arteta's efforts to build a robust squad capable of challenging for multiple titles. Liverpool legend Steven Gerrard is facing tough times as manager of Al-Ettifaq in Saudi Arabia. After suffering a 4th defeat in 6 games, Gerrard was met with boos from frustrated fans calling him to step down. Gerrard's Al-Ettifaq side took a 2-0 loss at home to Al-Qadsiah with both goals scored in the first half. Defenders Gaston Alvarez and Julian Quinones were the stars for Al-Qadsiah, sealing Al-Ettifaq's fate early on. Gerrard's team was unable to recover, extending a troubling run that now has Al-Ettifaq sitting 11th place in the Saudi Pro League. At the final whistle, Al-Ettifaq's fans made their displeasure clear, with chants of boos aimed directly at Gerrard. In fact, some fans urged him to get out. Despite his £15 million a year salary and nearly a season and a half in charge, Gerrard seems to be losing the support of the club's fan base. After the game, Gerrard took responsibility for the loss, explaining that defensive mistakes, particularly from a young, inexperienced player, contributed to their defeat. Gerrard stated, "I bear full responsibility for using a young player in defence. His recruitment was for future development, but due to injuries, we were forced to rely on him." He also acknowledged that his team's overall lack of cohesion contributed to this embarrassing situation. The pressure on Gerrard has been mounting, with calls of his resignation growing louder even before Saturday's game, yet he remains defiant, vowing to continue fighting to improve the team's performance. In a recent press conference, Gerrard told reporters, "I'm aware of the fans' disappointment, but I'll continue to fight and work to improve recent results. My priority is this club and I listen to people within it." He added that his focus remains on the players and the club's management despite outside noise. Interestingly, not all fans have turned their backs on Gerrard. During Saturday's game, some supporters displayed a large banner reading "You'll never walk alone," a reminder of Gerrard's deep ties to Liverpool, where he was a beloved figure. This shows that while frustration is high, there is still a section of fans holding on to hope that Gerrard can turn things around. It's worth noting that Gerrard's team wasn't up against easy competition. Al-Qadsiah's lineup includes high-profile players like former Real Madrid captain Nacho Fernandez and ex-Barcelona forward Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Al-Ettifaq, for their part, fielded players like Jorginho Wijnaldum and Moussa Dembele. With such talent on the pitch, Al-Ettifaq fans expect more from Gerrard's side, making the loss even harder to digest. Now onto our final story of another manager who is also facing increased pressure. West Ham manager Julen Lopetegui finds himself under increasing pressure. After a 3-0 defeat to Nottingham Forest, Lopetegui's position is looking shaky, and West Ham's upcoming game against Everton has been branded a must-win by the club's hierarchy. Saturday's loss to Nottingham Forest marked West Ham's 5th defeat in just 10 games this season. Forest came out strong with Chris Wood, Callum Hudson-Odoi and Ola Aina all getting on the scoresheet. A second-half red card for Edson Alvarez only compounded West Ham's problems, leaving the team short-handed and outplayed. This defeat has dropped the Hammers to 14th in the league table, with fans and critics questioning Lopetegui's approach. After being appointed as West Ham manager just 4 months ago, Lopetegui was seen as the right man to build on David Moyes' success. However, critics like Roshane Thomas from The Athletic argue that Lopetegui may have been the wrong choice. Thomas has criticised the team's lack of identity, questioning Lopetegui's tactics and his insistence on using certain out-of-form players like Guido Rodriguez. Frustration is building among fans too. The Hammers continue to struggle for consistency. Some of Lopetegui's decisions, like frequently changing formations and pulling players like Resencio Somerville early, have only added to the concerns. The team's recent performance against Nottingham Forest, where they were dominated from start to finish, has raised further doubts about whether Lopetegui is capable of turning things around. Despite the ongoing struggles, West Ham's leadership remains publicly supportive of Lopetegui. According to ex-West Ham United employee, a prominent source on all things West Ham, the club's hierarchy has made it clear that their upcoming match against Everton is a must-win. After back-to-back home wins, they're hoping that a return to the London Stadium will bring some much-needed stability and a positive result. Sean Dyche's Everton squad will be visiting West Ham next weekend, and both teams will be fighting for critical points. An international break follows this match, often seen as an ideal time for managerial changes. With the stakes so high, Lopetegui will need a solid result to ease the pressure and ensure he remains in charge after the break. It's clear that this is an important game for Lopetegui's future. A win could buy him more time, but a loss would intensify the calls for his replacement. West Ham fans are eager for consistency and an identity on the pitch, two elements that have been lacking so far under Lopetegui's leadership. That's it for today's Footy Today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with your thoughts on these stories. Also, be sure to check out our previous videos where we cover even more breaking football news. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time with more football news and updates.